Well, hello, my beautiful Pisces. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of November, right through the end of December 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Pisces, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile will be the unified energy of how things come together. Now, also, it's worth noting that if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, and that will really drain you of your beautiful love and waste your wonderful time, okay? Now, what I got from the Gaia chimes before I've even started your reading is very chaotic kind of energy, very fast-paced, very intense, but a bit of a wild card, okay, which can be exciting, but at the same time very disruptive when it comes to a long-term relationship. So I'm just going to go and tap into the cards, of course, because I need to see what I'm dealing with there and, you know, which twin flame dynamic I am channeling or my guides want me to talk about at this moment in time. And of course, I'll give you a bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame relationship. So please fast forward this part if you already know or you've heard this before. But get to the part where I hold up your first card, because that's when I'll start your reading. But for those of you who are sticking around for the description, it's a bite-sized one, so there's a lot more on the internet that can tell you about this very challenging but also very enriching relationship. You know, the twin flame dynamic, I like to describe it like magnets. So think of yourself as a magnet and your twin as a magnet. At the very core of you, you share the same frequency. Now, two magnets that are identical in frequency, because you're twins, of course, there is this push and pull. There is the attraction, but also the repulsion, because the frequencies are so similar. They're identical. It's not similar, they're identical. So there is a space in between. Now, there tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period. And this is not always the case, but it tends to be typical to form. And the chaser is willing to surrender to the union, opens up to that level of vulnerability because it is overwhelming in the emotions. There's a lot of depth there, a lot of love, intensity, and magnetism. And of course, both of you feel the same. The feelings are identical at the very start of the relationship. And, you know, there tends to be a runner as well who, when they look at their twin, so if you are the chaser, my beautiful Pisceans, and your divine counterpart is a runner, when they look at you, it's a mirrored experience. So they're actually looking at all the things within themselves that need to be healed. So they push their twin away out of avoidance because they don't want to really, you know, assess or go to that place, to things that they've been running away from their whole life, okay? And they basically, you know, avoid their feelings. They are avoidant of a part of themselves. Now, it's not a game, it's an energetic exchange. Think of the magnets. Both of you want to be together, but it requires a process. Both need to be separate in order to change the frequencies so that you can both come together in a match. Now, how do you change the frequencies? Well, you focus your energy, your time on yourself, your calling, your purposeful path, and of course, you must find a way towards unconditional love for self and only then can you come back together in union. Now, I always say that the twin flame journey, whilst it is physically romantic at first and all-consuming, and both of you feel the same, so if you're questioning whether your twin has feelings for you, the answer is yes, but their fear of themselves or something that they need to process and heal is greater, and that's why they distance themselves at first from their twin, but they keep coming back because they want to be with their twin because it feels like home. So it's important to recognize that this is more of a spiritual awakening. It's about accepting your spiritual awakening and your spiritual journey before you can really encounter a long-term relationship with your twin. Now, not everybody gets to be with their twin in each lifetime. I have to, acknowledge that for you. I always say do not wait for your twin because it can take them a long time to process things, heal things, and you're not working on their time, you're working on your own. Okay, it could take them days, weeks, months, years, decades even to find a way to ground their energy and, really face themselves and open themselves up to love. So do not wait because the universe will bring you both back together when the moment is right. I kid you not, when I first met my twin, I was the runner. I didn't realize I was a runner. I was just avoiding emotions and relationships because I've been previously very damaged in a relationship with a karmic, and I felt unworthy of love. I was a shell of myself. I was literally like a nothingness. And yet I still loved my twin, but I felt fear that they could hurt me like I got hurt in the past, and I ran. I bolted from the connection and pushed my twin away. And of course, it was a process of healing and coming back together in union, but I thought about my twin every single day. Almost obsessively, like, why can I not get this person out of my head? And I just kept coming back to the same thing until suddenly I started to see things within myself that I had been avoiding. But the universe kept making sure I bumped into my twin in a sea of millions of people in a city more than once. Now, that is synchronicity. That is meaningful encounters. That's the universe saying, hey, you two, work it out. Remember what you feel for each other. Now go off again, separate, and work it out. Then you can come back together in a union. So breathe. What is meant for you will never pass you by. However, you have to focus on your own path. And every time your twin comes back into your life, you need to see that they have done the work or they're making an effort. If not, there is a strong potential that this could be a karmic or a false flame. Okay? So I just want you to be aware of that. Now, twin flame dynamic is more of a process that prepares both parties to release lower vibrational energy that keeps either one stuck in fear, unhealthy attachments, addictive patterns, codependency, trust issues, self-loathing, a feeling of not being worthy of love, abandonment issues, trust issues, all of the stuff, okay? Even addictions, depression sometimes. So it depends on your twin flame dynamic because, of course, every twin flame situation will be different. You'll have different lessons to learn as in accordance with your soul contract with this person. But you will seek each other out in each lifetime, okay? And of course, this is a very transformative experience, but it is an inner vibrational transformation and a personal journey of discovery that must be done alone at first. You'll come together, but then you have to separate. That is the way it happens. And, you can look at some very famous couples out there who have been with each other, then suddenly separate, but come back together in a union. They are going through the twin flame process. And only once you discover your true purpose, because twins tend to have a mission in each lifetime, and then, of course, embrace unconditional love for self, then can the reunion process take place and be fully sustainable, okay? And of course, this is a relationship where your twin is there to trigger your greatest strengths and your greatest weaknesses, to sort of spin you off onto your purposeful path with confidence, but also to highlight any fears, anxieties, weaknesses there that need to be looked at. And of course, the process will take place. And, people do say, why do twins not just tell each other how they feel? Well, twins tend to have had some level of trauma or sadness or heartbreak or some sort of experience that has been very challenging before they even meet each other. And unless that is healed, that's when the separation period takes place. But if you meet your twin and you're healed and your twin is healed, then of course you'll come together in, the perfect vibrational match for you to be together. So there doesn't always have to be a separation period, but you're here because this is a separation period reading. And of course, twins who've gone through a level of traumatic experiences, they have a triggered, unhealed response that they go to when they get in too deep or they feel emotionally overwhelmed. And that tends to be, to protect their heart from being hurt again. And they distance, avoid, or they leave, ghost sometimes. Someone who's very immature and definitely unhealed will ghost. And if that is something that you're dealing with right now, they have a long process to heal, but also recognize that they cannot just ghost. That's a very immature energy. And I would say there's a toxic behavior there that really needs to be looked at. So just be mindful, my beautiful Pisceans, of what you're dealing with and the process that you're in. But let's get to your first card, because that's a really bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. I can see here that you and your person are emotionally grounding to become comfortable with unconditional love for self, okay? Your person loves to be independent. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that, of course. They've got a trust issue as well, whoever this person is. So this person may have been cheated on in the past, whoever I'm picking up on right now, and they need to resolve that within themselves. They were an overgiver in a past relationship, believe it or not, and I feel this person, they got burnt. Okay, and that experience, that baggage that has been left unhealed has now influenced your relationship and how it shaped your person, and they have to learn to trust love again. Okay, so this may not be resonating with everyone. I have to acknowledge what's going on here. But let's get to your first card. This is the ring. This is your protagonist energy. You're committed to this person. You love this person. You saw your future with this person. There's a lot of love, a lot of passion. There was a lot of romance, but also this like unspoken, unseen bond between you both that you've not experienced with anybody else. I feel like you made like a soul promise to this person to be in a partnership with them. You can feel the contract between you both. You just know it's divine and fated, and you were all in. You committed to this person, and you were focused solely on this person. You didn't even think about another person. It was like tunnel vision. This person, boom, straight to the heart. So much love, overwhelming and deep. And this person, they're always looking back. I can tell you that right now. This is the sort of person that when you are together and you separate, say if you're like going on a date, and then you go back to your respective homes, when you walk away from each other, they're the sort of person who always looks back at you because they're like, damn, Pisces is fine, and they've captured my heart. This person was smitten with you. I do see that here, okay? And they see you as very independent, very self-assured. There's something in this person that feels like, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, your independence is something that triggers a fear within them that indicates that you could leave at any time, that you don't need them. You want them, but you don't need them. And there could be some codependency here this person needs to work out. But I mean, you would never have strayed from this person's side because you love. There is full-on commitment here. However, right now, I mean, with the Magician energy, this indicates that you're focused on commitment. You wanted to settle down with this person. You saw your future with this person, and you do think about this person from time to time. But I feel one of the lessons you were meant to learn in this connection was, did you make your person your main focus? Did you lose yourself in that? Because there needs to be reciprocity. Of course, a part of you may feel like you left a part of your heart with them, and that means that a part of you kind of like neglected your own needs or lost yourself in this connection. And this is about rediscovering yourself. That's one of the lessons that you're meant to learn at this time, to focus on your future, to reconnect to your magic, to your personal power, to step into your life philosophy and into your calling. I feel this is about you kind of like believing in yourself a little bit more and connecting to, your divine path of your mission, as it were, your sense of purpose. But there is an energy here where you were more than enough for this person, okay? You had it all. The Magician card indicates that you're someone who's very gifted, very talented. You are someone who basically has all the ingredients that this person wanted in a person. So there is nothing lacking in you. This person, they projected their fears into the connection because it's connected to your independence. Now, of course, never stop being independent. This person would not actually want you to be stopping your independence. There's just a fear that's triggered here about a trust issue. So this person's like, this is how they see you, okay? You're so giving, you're so kind, you give more of yourself than this person gave to you. And I feel it's because they did not trust to open up enough. Very guarded person. You've got a 7 of Wands there with this person, which means they are very guarded. I mean, I feel both of you get attention. You get side eyes from people. You do magnetize other people's attention. But I feel, looking at the energy, this person, deep down, they only have eyes for you. You've like captured them. But I feel this person, with their insecurities, and again, don't shoot the messenger when I say this, this person, it's not that they like to flirt. We don't have any flirt cards here. But I feel like they gave a lot to their friendships. They gave a lot to other people. And this person, they reserved themselves a little bit around you. So they kind of shut down a little bit towards you. And they do message you from time to time. You may felt it's breadcrumbing, because the 6 of Pentacles can be a breadcrumbing energy. And you can't do this anymore. Your focus is shifting and changing. And of course, the 2 of Swords, for your energy, indicates that you're very uncertain about this connection right now. It's at stalemate. Nothing's happening. You may have even gone like under the radar yourself. You've withdrawn. You've become scarce in this connection. You're not talking to this person. You're not opening up. You're not giving to this connection. You're going inwards. So therefore, you are the catalyst for change in this relationship. By stepping back, again, it's not a game. You're changing the frequency. Remember the magnets? You have to go inwards to change your frequency. And the 2 of Swords indicates that right now you're taking a break from this in order to get clear in your head, in order to focus on you, in order to go inwards and transform, to really work out what it is that is your purpose, to connect to things that excite you, to bring the magic or rediscover that magic within yourself again. 2 of Swords indicates you're doing a lot of thinking. You're very cerebral right now. You're seeking answers. You want answers from this person, but sometimes the hardest thing to acknowledge is that we can ask a person like 100 times, why did you leave this relationship? Why have you shut down? What's going on with you? And they can give you the answer that they think you want to hear. Sometimes people just shrug their shoulders and go, I don't know. They're just, responding to something instinctive in that moment. Remember, if a person has gone through some level of trauma, they have a go-to response to deal with that trauma. Sometimes it is to shut down, to guard. Sometimes it is to put their attention elsewhere. But your person with the Fox energy, it's like they always need an exit, or they always need a way out of something, but they're always looking back. Foxes are actually really beautiful creatures, okay? But they're very independent, and they navigate very challenging environments, okay? If you think about the nature of a fox, it is like a scavenger, as it were, okay? So I'm not saying this person is out there scavenging for other people or, attention elsewhere. Not at all, because they've got a 9 of Pentacles. It means they did not expect to fall in love. It means they like their independence. They don't like to be tied down. And I feel with the 6 of Pentacles, and I'm going to pull a card on this because I'm not seeing anybody else. There's only one person here. So this can indicate that this person, unconditional love for self is important, but, surrendering to love or being open, more emotionally available, especially since they've got the anchor. This person was not emotionally available when you met each other. Now, you're not to be responsible for that, my beautiful Pisceans. You just fell in love. You wanted to be with this person. This person needs to resolve some things within themselves before they can come to you good. I feel like they're in their independent energy right now. So I got to be honest with you there. I will pull a card when I get to their cards. And I feel you got to work out how you feel about this connection. I feel a lot of you have withdrawn because you can't do this anymore. You just feel it's at a stalemate. You're adapting to that. And you're kind of teaching this person what it feels like to be absent in their life. So you may be focusing on other things right now. You are aware, because the 2 of Swords, as you can see, this figure is about to navigate uncharted territory. So there's some stepping stones there. So you realize it's a process, but you need a relationship that goes somewhere. And right now you can't see that happening. So I feel like you're really deep in thought, trying to dissect your feelings. 2 of Swords is a stillness. a stillness within you. Don't allow your life to stop based on someone else's actions. It's important to get back to living. As I said, do not wait for your twin, because the universe will actually manifest an opportunity for you to come back together in a union when the moment is right. So breathe. The Magician card can indicate that you do wish for this person to really see you, to understand, and to seek you out. Not because it's a game, but because you've given so much to this connection that you feel like you can't give anymore. And they didn't see that, but they saw that. I want you to be aware of that. They saw that. But there's a trust issue here. And again, I'm not here to give anyone an excuse. If someone's got a trust issue, they still need to respect a person in the union and be clear in their truth and just tell it how it is. But unfortunately, we all know that people don't do that. So let me pull a card, because number 14 is the Temperance energy. This person was out of balance in their life, so they thought they could wait. They were very chaotic in their energy because of a trust issue. I would say this person loves being independent. They don't like ties. They don't like to settle down. They certainly were not looking to settle down when they met you, because the Nine of Pentacles is there. It's an energy of kind of like being self-sufficient, self-reliant, kind of, I don't need anybody. I'm all good by myself. I'm sticking to my projects. And, you know, it's more secure to rely on oneself than it is to rely on another person. This person, because there's a trust issue, this is a trust issue card, and with the Six of Pentacles there, this can indicate this person was cheated on, that they were with someone who basically gave their time and attention to someone else and left them yearning and wanting. And they promised themselves this is never, ever going to happen again to them in a relationship. So they've made sure of that. Now, you would never do that to them, my beautiful Pisceans, but it's still in their bones. It's a fear. So let me just pull a quick card on this. Number 14 and number 9. Number 9 is very independent energy, but number 14, Temperance energy, I feel like there's two sides to this person where they want to settle down, but the fear kind of gets in the way, or the worry that they could be cheated on kind of suddenly changes their mind. And I mean, the fox can indicate that this person, they have a strategy for life to keep themselves safe. They're playing safe in life. But if you play safe in life, it means that, you know, you're never going to open up to the good stuff. You're never going to experience the magic that love has to offer. So I'm just going to see what this is. Four Cups. Yeah, this person has been let down, disappointed in love before. Four Cups means this person was closed off to love when they first met you, but the universe divinely guided them and you together. You know, I'm just going to show you the Four of Cups in this deck, because pictorially it gives you more of a sense of what's going on with a person. Can you please guide me? Thank you so much. Now, very important to recognize that on the Four Cups, the figure is sitting under the tree. Their arms are closed, so they're closed off to love. There are 3 cups in front of the person, okay? And these are the experiences of how they felt in the past. Something didn't go right here, okay? So they were like, I'm not doing this love thing ever again, okay? They're leaning in more to personal development and growth. They're independent, but the universe surprised them. You know, very turbulent cloud there. So this person was going through some chaos, and then suddenly you came along and it was love. And this person has feelings, because cups are all about feelings. I'm only mentioning that because, of course, you've got the Four of Cups. As you can see, there is this branch here that's growing on the cup. So it can indicate that this person's experiences have helped them grow, but they grew into defense mechanisms because they wanted to keep themselves safe. They wanted to keep their hearts safe with that Four of Cups. So I feel this person was not looking to fall in love, but they were surprised. And everywhere they go, they see signs and symbols and omens that highlight that you're someone special, and they keep looking back. That's why that fox is looking back, like, could I trust? Could I settle down? Could I do this? And I feel this person, they're doing a lot of resolving things within themselves, deep in thought. And I feel like this person is going to send you a message of how they feel, but they're still very defensive. Okay, I've got to be honest with you. It's going to be a process with this person. Six of Pentacles indicates this person needs to get their life into balance. They do see that you were a surprise and a gift in their life. However, they also recognize that they couldn't bring reciprocity, and they're learning about reciprocity, the give and take of relationships. So this person's playing catch up, as it were. But the Six of Pentacles is also an energy of, stability, financial stability, and being aware of giving out more than you're getting back. Now, you gave so much of yourself, my beautiful Pisceans, to this connection, but this person has given out more in the past to another experience, and they just thought it was going to go the same. So they shut down. They kind of judged the situation based on their previous experiences, and that's not okay, because you should, accept the relationship in its present form. However, that highlights they didn't do the healing. They just moved into another relationship, something they knew they didn't really want to do, but because you're a magnet and you are their twin, they were drawn to you, and it was like unstoppable. We've got the Nine of Pentacles there. So this indicates that this person, they reserve more energy for themselves than they give out. Okay, so again, it's highlighting this person, they're learning about valuing themselves after something that they experienced where they had to shut down their feelings. So right now, this person, they find you very attractive. They see your independence and they worry that you could be, it's almost like they wouldn't expect you to be cheating on them, because they have been cheated on, whoever this person is, but they are worried that someone else, because you're beautiful, they find you very attractive, someone else would just steal you away. They may have even said that in the past. Why do you love me? What is it about me? Why choose me? And that comes from a fear of thinking that someone could just take you away, when that's not love. They have not healed something from the past. Now, actions speak louder than words. I'm going to pull a card on that Nine of Pentacles. Whoever this person is right now, they enjoy their single life. And they do love you. They are dissecting feelings. They keep looking back at you. So that is a measure that there's something special about this connection, because they could be with someone else and never look back when they leave. But with you, they can't stop looking back. So let me find out a little bit more about this person. All I'm getting from this person, they're very private, but I'm just getting that they've been cheated on. They've been betrayed in the past, okay? We got the Seven of Wands there. I mean, look at that. And we got the Justice. So Seven of Wands is present here. So it highlights that this person, I'm really tapping into their frequency of feeling super guarded. They haven't given up on love, but they find it really hard to open up. And of course, this is an energy of not being tempted into a relationship. And also, there's something about temptation here, okay? Just because it's a fear. The Justice card indicates they want to find a solution. They want to make it right. They want to tell you the truth of the situation as to why they're so guarded. And the Seven of Wands can indicate, that they have had rivalry in the past, or, there's jealousy or envy because of their fears. They feel a need to defend themselves because something was unfair in their past. There is an energy of mistrust. Okay, Justice card, when that shows up, that's all about honesty. And when someone is so adamant, I want honesty, I want the truth, I need this, is because they've been hurt. It's because they've been lied to. They've been betrayed in the past. So I feel this person is going to give you some answers that you seek. You will hear from this person, and they do find you attractive and they do love you, but they need to emotionally work through their feelings and ground their feelings, because at the end of the day, you feel like home to them. That's why they keep looking back. The anchor is there to highlight that, this person needs to emotionally ground. They need to feel secure in a relationship. And of course, it indicates, you being there constantly and it being a long process with them, my beautiful Pisces. But because you've stepped back, it's given them space to think about what they're missing out on in the connection with you. So with that anchor, when you reduce it, 3 + 5 is 8. That means the number of the self. This person and you are separate on purpose as a rite of passage, so you can focus on your own emotional needs. And then if you think about the nature of an anchor, when things get choppy in the water, that's when you anchor to make sure that the boat is safe, or you navigate the choppy waters to a place where you can feel like you can dock and feel safe. So I feel this is about navigating very challenging emotions that have made you and this person, for different reasons, feel very guarded. It's like, how can you now trust the relationship to be together again after the experiences? You've withdrawn because, you're deep in thought, you're hurt, you're guarding yourself. There's two people here who are guarding themselves for different reasons, but it'll be a process to come back together. The only way is unconditional love, but of course, your person needs to step up. I got to be honest with you, they're going to give you some answers, but again, they're not ready to commit to the relationship long term. They are going to get to a point where they want to settle down, okay? And you feel like home, but you're not a light switch, my beautiful Pisceans. You're not there just waiting to be turned off and on whenever they feel like it. You got your whole life. Now, it's important that you focus on your own personal development, because that's when you change the frequencies and both of you can come together to an emotional understanding where you can both settle down together, okay? But that Seven of Wands is still there in your outcome energy with this person. There is love, there is nurture, there is care, but there is also a guardedness. And once that is worked through on both sides, for different reasons, of course, and your person takes accountability, because the Justice card came up for them, which means they will own their truth and be responsible for their actions, because actions have consequences. And when they find a resolution, because they will try to repair, I want you to be aware of that, because this person finds you very attractive. I also feel like there was a bit of an age gap going on here, but it wasn't a major factor, but you may have thought maybe it was a factor, but it wasn't. You have everything they ever wanted in a person. However, they couldn't get out of their way with their fears regarding trust issues. And sometimes that's really like heartbreaking, because you can see when two people are meant to be together, but previous experiences ruin the dynamic in a relationship. Someone does a number on your person and they are trying to put the little pieces of themselves back together again just when you come along, and they want to love you, but they're trying to love you from a broken place. And hurt people, they need to love themselves first before they can love another. And of course, a trust issue will trigger self-loathing, feelings of abandonment, things like that. And I feel the only way is unconditional love, because this is a card that represents unconditional love in its purest form, but also nurturing and self-care. The Empress works at things, okay? So your person needs to learn that relationships need work. You don't bolt at the sign of, a minor issue or a minor disagreement. So that's something that's very important to recognize if you're a cross watcher, okay? Pisces, they love you and they wanted to stick around and they're all in. And this relationship for them was magical and intense and everything they ever wished for, apart from, of course, the stepping back and the abandonment of the connection. Because it's important to recognize when people have had trauma, no matter what that is, if someone's trust is broken, okay, it costs a lot to find trust again within relationships. Pisces, you didn't cause this, but you're dealing with the fallout of someone else's pain. And of course, we have to acknowledge that when a person, they feel mistrust or they feel there is a potential threat to their heart based on previous experiences, they become more comfortable in just being by themselves. They get quieter. They have a coping language of self-reliance, and two people just kind of fade into the background separately without truly dissecting what's going on and how each person is feeling. Because there is love here. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. My guides asked me to go again one more, so I am. Now, this deck is wonderful because it highlights any conversations that have been left unsaid that didn't show up in the reading, or actually kind of reaffirm what showed up in the reading. I've never felt a love like this before. I actually feel like, yeah, this person, they do get attention, but they're always looking back at you. I don't feel like they're with anyone else. They've got the Nine of Pentacles, which is a solitary energy. They're on their own. They like it that way. No attachments. This person has to resolve some things before they can come back towards you. But looking at the energy with that Two of Swords, you're very unsure about a future. You're not sure if you can connect to this. You think about this person a lot, but I feel a lot of you, there's like a double-edged sword to this, which is like, should I sever ties and cut a cord with my twin, or should I, manifest a reunion here. So it's your prerogative, of course, but I feel you and your person, there will be an opportunity to talk in the future. Your person will reach out. I feel like they are kind of like pulled to message you, okay? And also explain. You're going to get some sort of explanation from this person. And it's going to be their truth. I want you to be aware of that. I keep seeing signs of you everywhere I go. Yeah, you are kind of like on this person's mind, and they are reminded of you in moments. They will kind of message that as well. But later on, firstly, I feel there's some regret here, and this person's going to address that first. I know I hurt you. I never intended to. And I actually believe that. I feel like this person shut down in fear because of being cheated on in the past or betrayed in the past. And I actually feel like this person was also betrayed by a friend as well. Maybe it's connected, I'm not sure. So their partner could have cheated on them with their best friend or something like that. Or maybe they've also had a betrayal in a friendship. So perhaps this is something they will dissect and reveal to you. If you know this already, then you'll know. But if you don't, I feel like you will in the future. I feel so much regret for everything I've said and done. I actually feel that this person does feel the regret. Because the Seven of Wands says, I don't want to give up on this. I can't let you go. You mean too much to me, but still I'm guarded. But you're not here to wait your whole life for this person to sort through their stuff. You've got a life to live that is sparkly and passionate and successful and wild. Remember, when you're meant to come back together in a union, the universe will make sure you are divinely guided back towards each other, okay? I pushed you away because I was scared. Yes, that's what is coming out in this reading very clearly. Now, this deck, actually has cards in there that says, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I'm not wanting this, or I'm not interested. There's definitely cards in there like that, but you got these cards because they connect to the reading for your specific situation. So please take what resonates. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we go. Okay. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So we've got the tragedy and the comedy trinket there. So this person, there is a sadness and a pain behind their smiles. This person, they cover up their hurt. They don't like to show people. They're very guarded. This person has been through a lot of sadness regarding relationships. But, we've all gone through something, right? We need to process it so it does not ruin, future happiness. So that's something that's there. I mean, I feel this person dealt with a lot of drama before they met you and actually didn't want you to be involved in the drama, so distance themselves as well. But this relationship, bittersweet, because they love you, but they just can't trust. They want to be with you, but the fear robs them of that joy to fully live in the moment. They're always, preempting that you'll leave, or preempting that someone will take you away. There's a bit of jealousy or envy at the core, and it's not actually something that is present for you. It's not that they're jealous of you. It's not that they're envious of you. It's that, when you feel like you're set to lose something or someone, you hold on tighter. It crushes your emotions. It crushes your whole kind of like nervous system. And this person needs to learn to let go, to acknowledge that what will be will be. There's no guarantees in relationships ever. That's why you feel vulnerable when you're getting into a connection. This person, when they heal that part of themselves, then they are going to be a wonderful partner, but you can't wait. You just have to see how things evolve. And you will hear from your person, though. And it'll be a very guarded message, but it will give you some sort of acknowledgement or explanation as to their actions, because there is regret here, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Pisceans. Thank you so much, and love and light.